And here he is, stogie in hand, NBA champion once again.
Jeff Zilgett.
LeBron, 3 seasons ago, after you beat Toronto, you told Cleveland.com that you didn't have anything left to prove, or you asked what you have left to prove. And I wanted to know if that's changed over the past 3 years. Did you feel you had something to prove, and why is this one so important for you?
I think, personally, thinking I had something to prove fuels me, and it fueled me over these last year and a half since my injury. It fueled me because no matter what I've done in my career up to this point, there's still a little rumblings of doubt or, comparing me to, the history of the game and has he done this, has he done that, so having that in my head, having that in my mind, saying to myself, why not still have something to prove? I think it fuels me.
All right, Dave McMenamin.
LeBron, all the circumstances surrounding this one, being in Orlando, having 4.5-month hiatus, away from family, everything going on in the country, how does that add context to this fourth ring versus the other three?
I think they're all special in their own right. They all have their obstacles, things that went on throughout the course of the year, both on and off the floor. But one is not less than the other. Because when you're able to put yourself in this position to be able to win a championship, the first thing you start to think about is how much work you've put in over the course of the year. How much you've sacrificed, how much you've dedicated to the game and to your craft. That's always been the most fulfilling thing for me, besides seeing my teammates as happy as they are, is being able to know that you can put the work in, literally trust the process, live about the process, and then see the results. And I think not only from a basketball player, but from everybody, whatever craft, whatever work space you're in, to be able to put the work in and live along the process and build along the process and then be able to see results, I think we all live for that moment.
Okay, we're gonna go Michael.
Again. You're going to be everybody tonight.
LeBron, could you sense that with the mental wear of the bubble that it was getting to other teams? And in the last few days, was there kind of a weird feeling of we're reaching, not just possibly winning a championship, but reaching the end of this journey? Like, did that feel different even than the other title runs?
To answer your first question, with so much going on inside the bubble and everything, and us, going into the unknown, it's kind of hard for me personally. Once I got inside here, saying, okay, this is my mission. I want to win a championship since I'm here. It was hard for me to kind of focus on other teams and what other players were feeling. I didn't engage in that. I didn't look for it. I wanted to keep my energy in the right space. And over the last couple of days, you definitely thought about it. You thought about just being here, how successful it is. And I commend Adam Silver in the NBA, and Michelle Roberts, Chris Paul over at the NBPA, and so many people that had it to make this happen, to make this work. And I think we all can say, from the social injustice conversations, the voter suppression, police brutality, to have this platform and have our players be able to unite like that, it's something that you will miss. You will think back on it. And I think one of the biggest things, not only besides the social injustice and all the things I mentioned, we had 0 positive tests. We had 0 positive tests for as long as we were here. 90-some days, 95 days maybe for myself. I had a little calendar, I was checking it off. But on a serious note, no positive tests. That's a success for everybody that was involved.
Okay, Kyle Boone.
LeBron, what about this partnership that you have with Anthony
makes it particularly special to you?
I can't really explain it. There's just certain things you just know. In any type of relationship, you kind of just feel, you just know that vibe. You have that respect. You have that drive, and sometimes you can't explain what links you with somebody, and then it's that organic. And sometimes you don't even try to explain it. Sometimes you guys ask me about my relationship with AD. The first thing I think about is the respect, the no ego, the challenging each other. And we want each other to be better than actually ourselves. Like, I want AD to be better than me. AD want me to be better than him every single night, every single day. And we challenge ourselves. And I think
Teams in the NBA Finals, and they lose to one of the greatest players in the history of the game. How would you put into perspective their season?
Yeah, I think, first of all, when you're listening to those comments from Eric Spoelstra, to me, those comments are coming from a guy that is the absolute cream of the crop when you talk about coaches in the NBA. I think he is the top guy right now, particularly when you look at this roster. This was not a championship roster, Mike. You're 100% right. This team started to grow on me when I saw them in the restart. You could see that they were different. Some of their younger players were even more mature, more confident as the restart began. Because a lot of these guys, you know, this was their first season under their belt that was cut short. And when you take 3-4 months off, it was almost as if they were starting a brand new season with a year of experience under their belt. It wasn't like a continuation of the same season. So that's when I started to see a team that was super connected, a team that absolutely trusts each other. They're as good at help and recover defensively as any team in the league. They shoot it as well as any team in the league. They pass it as well as any team. They're just one star short, Mike, in my opinion, from being right there. And maybe not even a star. Maybe just, you know, a very good to all-star caliber level player. Somebody else offensively that could get their shot against the type of defense you saw in this series. I think that's all they're missing, because some of these young players have now elevated themselves where you can see this team going forward now differently than you would have at the start of the season last October. You find a guy like Kendrick Nunn, undrafted, makes all-rookie team, runner-up for Rookie of the Year. Duncan Robinson goes from a Division III player to one of the absolute best shooters in the league. Tyler Hero is a guy that now looks to me like could be an all-star in the future. Bam Adebayo is now an all-star. So this is a group that has grown exponentially, and they have absolutely firmly planted themselves in the mix when you go forward at the top of the Eastern Conference. And no one thought that about this team going into the season. I had them as a 5 seed going into the season. Coming into the restart, I didn't know if they were going to get past the first round. But once they did, I picked them to win the next 2 series. I thought they could get to the finals just based on the eyeball test, Mike, on how well this team plays together and how well they are coached. So I think Eric Spoelstra hit it on the head a lot with what he talked about this group and how close they became during this experience. And there's a lot more to be heard for the Miami Heat going forward. I think we're going to look at them differently at the start of next season, whenever that may be, by the way.
For those of you just joining us, we will hear from LeBron James, Anthony Davis et al. With the Lakers coming up a little bit later here on SportsCenter. But one more point about the Heat, Tim, and some of the things you laid out sort of brings me to this question, because when Shaq first went there after he left the Lakers in 2004, it became a destination. When LeBron and Chris Bosh went there to join Dwayne Wade for another title run, it became another destination team in the league. Now that Jimmy Butler has elevated this team to this position, what type of destination is Miami as it relates to getting those additional players you're talking about as early as this year, or excuse me, this offseason, to make another title run in 21?
Right. You laid out 2 great examples of when they were destinations for teams that were on the brink of winning a championship, and they added the right piece, and they were able to do that. But every year we talk about Miami as a destination for free agents, and usually it's based on the climate, right? And we talk a lot about South Beach and those kinds of things, and it seems like the Heat are always in the mix. Well, now you have another group where the destination now becomes something we talk about because you can win a championship there, as they have done in the past. And I think what you saw out of this group and what Eric Spoelstra got this team to do and the way that they played, if you don't love the way the Miami Heat play, then you just don't understand the game of basketball. Because when I watch them play, I see a group of guys that absolutely know they can look each other in the eye and they can count on each other to be there for them as teammates defensively. The ball will get moved to the open guy when it's supposed to. That builds trust. And when you're watching that from afar, and whether you're a star player, role player, all-star, whatever it may be, you watch that style of play, you absolutely look at that and say, that is something that I want to buy into. Because those guys, one, they look like they really like each other. They're having fun going to work every day. You know they're exceptionally well coached. And there's something about playing in that style where you know you walk in that locker room and you can trust the people around you. That's what players are looking for ultimately. So you're 100% right. They should be at the top of any destination for a free agent because that player can make a difference and put them back on top as NBA champions.
Yeah, what a remarkable run it was for the Heat as they pushed the Lakers to 6 games in the NBA Finals. But, yo, Tim, it's the Lakers night, and the celebration is already underway in Los Angeles. 17th NBA title, again, that's tied for the Celtics for the most in NBA history, and the first for L.A. in 10 years, back when Kobe led them to back-to-back titles. And, of course, so much emotion going into this season because of his tragic death earlier this year. For the Lakers, purple and gold, the celebration is on. Plenty more from Tim Legler and the Lakers coming up here on SportsCenter.
LeBron with all his trophies in Orlando. You're going to hear from